I now ask the President of the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Hungary, to go to the tribune.
Good morning to all of you. Thank you very much for this very kind invitation. Dear Mr. President, dear Executive Secretary, dear Secretary General and dear Deputy Minister, who we hope still online with us. I would like to express first of all my appreciation to the President of the Pompidou Center for the generous hospitality which has been extended to us. I have received the invitation for this very event 5 months ago when we had the honor to take over the chairmanship of the Committee of Ministers at the Council of Europe. That time I have committed myself to come, and I'm very happy that I could do it because it shows that nowadays conferences based on personal and physical presence can take place. The revised statute of the Pompidou Group, adopted by the Committee of the Ministers on the 16th of June this year, under the Hungarian chairmanship, provides the group with adequate political and legal framework for making the voice of the Council of Europe heard and stimulating its action in the field of drug policy. This decision, I do believe, provides a strong political impetus for the Pompidou Group's present and future action. I also would like to take this opportunity to express my congratulations to the Pompidou Group for the 50th anniversary, and on behalf of the Hungarian government, I'd like to pay tribute to the ambitious program of the group. The police and the law enforcement agencies have long been major players in organizing and implementing drug prevention. With the aim of shifting focus of drug policies away from law enforcement towards public health concerns in recent years, discussions emerged on redefining the role of the police in prevention, including ways how law enforcement could contribute to preventing and reducing the risks and harms related to drug use. In this context, the Pompidou Group has organized a capacity-building seminar which took place at the invitation of our authorities in Budapest just a couple days ago, on the 20th and 21st of October. During this event, the future perspectives of the role and potentials of police work in drug prevention were discussed and further elaborated. As a follow-up, a workshop meeting is planned where law enforcement officials, together with experts of prevention, will develop concepts for the implementation of innovative approaches to police prevention, meeting today's challenges related to reducing drug use and addiction. The concept will be presented to the Pompidou Group member states for their very kind and hopefully positive consideration for the 2023 and 2025 work program. Dear colleagues, dear ladies and gentlemen, if we make a list about the challenges which we Europeans have been facing recently, then I do believe that the increasing use of drugs and its social and healthcare related consequences would definitely be among them. And let me just make a short summary about three emerging developments, three worrying developments which are going on now, and afterwards two worrying developments which are about to happen and will put more serious problems ahead of those who have been dealing with these issues. Regarding the three worrying developments which have already been taking place, first, it's obvious that the international opium crisis has not spared the European continent. The second is that when it comes to cocaine trafficking, Earlier, that was, well, kind of negligible, but nowadays, or better to say in the recent years, there has been a significant increase experienced. And third, the designer drugs, which are becoming available in bigger and bigger quantities. These are particularly dangerous given the fact that addiction is very, very complicated to be realized, especially to be realized on time. And about the two worrying developments which will make our problems more serious and more severe in the future. First, the developments of Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure that all of us in this conference room have followed the developments there. We have followed the 20-year-long international mission. We unfortunately have seen the, let's say, the limited success at the very end. If I don't want to put it politically correct, then I would say failure. At the very end, we see that Afghanistan is being in a terrible social, economic, and terrible humanitarian situation. And unfortunately, it is becoming, again, a hotbed for terrorist organizations and a source for massive illegal migratory flows. And globally speaking, there is a constant debate how the Taliban leadership should be approached by the international community, whether any funds should be released to this country to help economic development or provide humanitarian assistance. And generally speaking, whether we should get in touch with them at all or not. And I'm pretty sure that this dilemma is not on the agenda of this conference to be resolved, but there's a very, very important aspect of this whole issue which falls in line with the topic of this conference. And this is the fact that Afghanistan is the world's largest illicit opium producer. And we know that this is the only significant source of income for the country, internationally speaking. And the leadership there in Afghanistan definitely needs money to maintain power and needs money to operate the country itself. And selling opium and selling drugs is the only source of income. So it's obvious they will make every effort in order to sell their opium and drugs on the international market in the upcoming months and maybe years as well. That makes our task, and when I say our task, the task of the international community, very clear that we have to prevent them from doing it successfully. And if anything, this homework, this task, definitely demands close international cooperation. Cooperation with the Central Asian countries, with China and Russia as being countries with having some leverage in the region. This fight, this endeavor of ours, should definitely not be a matter of neither ideology nor political approach, because preventing the Afghan leadership from selling opium and drugs internationally will save lives of the people and preventing people from becoming addicted. And we have to address the issue that there's a close interdependence between organized crime and drug trafficking. And the problem is that there's a threat of massive illegal migratory flows stemming from Afghanistan currently. And I want to underline the word currently, because this is not a challenge regarding the future, this is a challenge regarding the present times, since there are 30 to 35,000 people on the daily basis who have been leaving Afghanistan. And the gangs who have been involved in illegal drug trade are also very active in human trafficking as well. And revenues created by human trafficking strengthen these groups of criminals definitely. And if they push people, if they force people to leave their homes, thus creating migratory waves, then it offers an opportunity for trafficking, drug trafficking also. Because physically speaking, migratory flows can offer a possibility for traffickers to hide among them. So the conclusion here in this regard should be that all international efforts should aim at preventing massive outflow from Afghanistan. we have to add that such an outflow that would definitely contribute to the destabilization of regions which are transit route for smuggling already, and already have to be faced with serious security-related challenges. I'm representing Hungary, which is a country which is located in the direct neighborhood of the Western Balkans, and we are all aware of the difficulties there. We are all aware of the problems created by the slow integration procedure of the European Union, and neither of us would like to experience any further destabilizing factors in the neighboring region. That's why I'd like to express how happy we are that Ukraine is joining the Pompidou Group on this occasion. We know about the problems caused by the trafficking industry, between quotation marks, in the country. And we hope that, that Ukraine joining the Pompidou Group will further contribute to fighting smuggling-related challenges in our region. And since Ukraine is a neighboring country for us, we are definitely interested in the Ukrainians coping with this challenge successfully. The better they can cope with this challenge is the better for us Hungarians. And the second and last challenge which we identify in the future when it comes to our fight against drugs is a trend of liberalizing the drug policies also in some European countries. And of course, without any kind of intention to interfere into domestic issues of other countries, I do believe that such a trend is very harmful, and we would like to strongly argue against this practice. Because liberalizing the use of drugs can bring us to a place where we definitely do not want to be. We understand that drugs ruin health, ruin personality, ruin social ties, and ruin families in the meantime. And drugs can create the illusion of forgetting about the existing problems. If drug use is being widely liberalized, that brings us the threat that brings a threat to the resilience of healthy societies. To put it more simple, drugs will never contribute to make a society healthy. And thanks God, now vaccination rate is increasing in Europe. That means that restrictive measures in many countries can be released. That means that institutions for entertainment, meaning the discos and the nightclubs, gonna operate again. And we all know that it will bring further challenges when it comes to spreading drugs. That's why we do have to focus in the upcoming months on protecting our youth in this regard. That will put an additional burden on the shoulders of police and law enforcement, for sure, and they all have to be prepared and get ready for that, and we all do have to activate our prevention policies. When it comes to the Hungarian chairmanship of the Council of Europe, we have put forward 5 priorities, out of which one, and maybe the most important one, is the measures in order to protect children and families. And the work of yours, the work of the Pompidou Group, covers one of the most important aspects of this. We in Hungary do have our national drug strategy, and the one that was focusing on the period between 2013 and 2020 has paid a particular attention to youth prevention through programs focusing on the mental health and behavioral problems, as well as strengthening family relationships and promoting integration and reintegration into the society. The strategy introduced school health promotion programs highlighting specific areas of addiction, including smoking, alcohol and drugs. And we have placed special emphasis on programs adapting to current drug use patterns, including the emergence of new psychoactive substances. As a result of the implementation of this strategy, in 2016, 3 child and youth addiction rehabilitation centers began operating to care for the age group between 10 and 16. And finally, Madam Secretary General, dear Deputy Minister, Mr. Executive Director, protecting youth in this field as well is of particular importance for the Hungarian government, because protecting young people from drugs is also a way of protecting families. In Hungary, we put families first. We spend 5% of our GDP on protecting families, which is more than in any other European country. Any measures that protects our youth, our children, and our future also strengthens families. Thus, we support every such effort. Dear ladies and gentlemen, allow me please to express my appreciation for everybody who have taken part in the work and efforts of the Pompidou Group, not only now, but in the last 50 years, and hopefully in the upcoming 50 years also. Your work is extremely valuable and important, and you can count on the assistance of the Hungarian chairmanship and of the Hungarian government in the future as well. Thank you very much for your very kind attention.
It's our birthday, but